Now, you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWineRadio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes Radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Michael Keenan, the president of the Robert Keenan Winery in the Spring Mountain District of the Napa Valley, and I invite you to join our wine club at www.KeenanWinery.com and come up for a visit. We're appointment only, up in a nice, remote, very pretty section of the Napa Valley. Cheers.
Joining us this week for the third course on Wine and Dine is Michael Keenan, the president of Robert Keenan Winery. He is going to be hosting a festival wine class on Merlot. Robert Keenan Winery is located in the Spring Mountain AVA in Napa County. And I thank you so very much for joining us today on Wine and Dine. And Michael, could you please tell us where exactly or when exactly is this tasting during that week that you're going to be hosting?
It's Friday afternoon. I think it's 1 to 2, I think. Okay.
Okie dokie. And have you participated in the San Diego Bay Wine and Food Festival before, but this is the first year you're hosting a class on Merlot?
Yeah, this will be the first year I'm attending and hosting a class.
So what are you going to talk about? For those of us poor souls that won't be with you.
Well, oddly enough, I'll be talking about Merlot, the subject of the lunch, which is my favorite topic in the wine world to talk about. It's a varietal it is my favorite varietal. I think it's still a misunderstood varietal at this stage in its history in California. I think as an industry, we're just beginning to sort out which varietals should be grown, and I think our appellation, Spring Mountain, being up in the mountains, is an ideal place to grow Merlot and to bring out its fullness, its depth, its power. It's just a great place to grow Merlot.
So, what is the elevation of the vineyards that you use at Robert Keenan Winery to put into your Merlot?
The Merlot grows at our top block, the mailbox vineyard, which produces the reserve Merlot, is about 1,700 feet in elevation, and then our top Merlot vineyard, as far as elevation, is about 1,900 feet in elevation. So it's pretty close to the top of the Spring Mountain AVA. We're not very far from the county line that separates Napa from Sonoma.
Wow. Are there a lot of bear up there in the vineyards?
No, there are no bear in our vineyards, thank God.
Really?
Yeah, the bear are more of an eastern Napa problem on Hell Mountain.
Okay.
So we don't have too many pests we have to worry about except for the blue-green sharpshooter.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a huge something for you to worry about when you're sleeping at night. So let me ask you, are the soil profiles different at the 1,700 versus 1,900 feet vineyards?
They're pretty close. I'd say the soil's just a little bit redder at 1,700 feet and just a little bit browner at 1,900 feet. They're both very, very rocky, which is fantastic for drainage, which Merlot is particularly sensitive to. And there's just enough clay in both sites, which Merlot also really loves. So Merlot really loves the hard-to-get combination of clay in the soil and drainage. And it's not often you get both of those together. It's usually one or the other.
Is the 1,700 feet vineyard you said is a little redder? Is that because there's more iron in the clay?
Yeah, a little more iron. Yeah, that's probably exactly it. Yeah, just a teeny bit more. And
the resulting grapes and wine taste is uniquely different.
Yeah, there's the mailbox vineyard, which is at 1,700 feet, has a distinct sort of earth spice note to it, which really makes it unique, which is why I use it for the Reserve Merlot. It's got a unique quality as well as a rich, full-body quality, which is a typical mountain profile. But it really has a wonderful sense of uniqueness that really comes from the soil. And we didn't really see that note emerge from the vineyard until that block turned 7 years old, which was in 2003. So we knew it was a terroir-driven note. It took about that long for the roots to get down deep enough and for the vines to get established to really tap into whatever that was they were getting out of the soil.
Wow. So I would imagine that those two vineyards are relatively difficult to harvest, and you're harvesting by hand?
We do harvest everything by hand.
Okay.
Yeah, and mountain terrain is a little bit more difficult to negotiate than valley terrain. In the valley, you have the option of using machine harvesters, which I would never use anyway, but in the mountains, we have no choice. It's all hand done, which I think is great because we've had some of the same pickers for over 25 years working on our land. So we have a great relationship with them. We have them, they're on the same page as far as to how to pick, and we really use them as our sorting table, which saves us a tremendous amount of money. So when they go through and pick, they're really doing the last sorting for us before the grapes come to the crush pad. When they hit the crush pad, it's just a perfect box of grapes because we have really skilled pickers.
Wow. And you say it's the same people coming back year after year. Is it migrant workers, or is it people who live there and are, they bring their family members and that sort of thing?
Now, these are year-long residents of Napa, Sonoma, and Lake County.
Okay.
We actually use a vineyard contractor named Peter Nissen, and he keeps about 160-man crew year-round. They're all local residents.
Oh, wow.
And they've all been here for quite a long time.
Oh, that's great.
So they're really reliable. They're stable, and like I said, we got the same people pruning, same people picking every year. So the continuity is huge.
Michael, are you at this class on Merlot at the San Diego Bay Wine and Food Festival? Are you pouring exclusively Robert Keenan Winery Merlots, or are you adding in, a right bank Merlot, or what is the game plan?
It's going to be all Robert Keenan wines. We're going to do 3 different wines from the 09 vintage to show the difference that appellation makes. We actually make a Carneros Merlot as well.
Oh.
And then we make an estate-based Merlot that has Carneros fruit in it.
Okay.
And then we have 100% estate. And then I'm also going to pour a 15-year-old reserve wine out of the library to show the impact that aging has on Mountain Merlot.
And are you pouring from 750s or Magnums?
It's all from 750s. So
how many people are you expecting? Are you hoping for this class? Is this a relatively small class of 15, 20, 30 people?
No, I think we're planning for 50, so it'll be a good crowd.
Okay. Oh, that'll be so much fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I think, like I said, Merlot is a great topic, and one of the things that I like Merlot for is because I think its signature mark is when Merlot is really, really good, it has an inner roundness, velvety richness that is just incredibly satisfying. I don't think any other varietal really hits that inner roundness and velvetyness like Great Merlot does. I think people just need to know that. There's been so much, mediocre Merlot produced in the last 25 years because it became extremely popular that people in general think of Merlot as a fairly nondescript, easy-drinking wine, but they need to know when it's grown in the right place and made by the right people, it's truly not a good wine, but a great wine.
And it's interesting. I like seeing this swing back where people are becoming so passionate and specialized versus making something that satisfies anybody and everybody.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the role of the artisanal producer, is to excel at something that's unique. There's plenty of people that are mass-producing wines, and if the consumer wants to drink, low-priced, mass-produced wines, well, there's wonderful choices. But if they want to drink truly distinct wines, there's a number of producers like myself that are really focusing on what's best from their appellation, what they can really excel at, and achieving a sense of uniqueness and greatness, which I think the consumer really appreciates.
I'm assuming that Robert Keenan Winery has a wine club that people can join to have regular shipments?
We do, yeah. We do a great wine club. I've designed it to be almost a no-brainer to join if you're a wine aficionado. We ship 4 bottles twice a year, so it's a relatively low commitment. We do not put our reserve wines in the wine clubs. We keep the price as low as we can. But then if you're a member of the wine club, you get first crack at the reserve wines, and you get your 20% discount on any wines you buy at any time during the year, including the reserve wines. So it's a phenomenal deal. Okay.
Well, what are you going to be pouring at your table, or your Thanksgiving table, the week after the San Diego Bay Wine and Food Festival?
That's a good question. Almost invariably, I'll have an older Merlot, an older Zin, and an older Syrah. Those are my 3 favorite turkey varietals, and it's by far my favorite holiday of the year. And I've really got a tradition of getting a great brined turkey, one of these heritage birds from a ranch in Marin, and then barbecuing it outside, whether it's raining or not.
You're barbecuing it outside? Oh, how cool!
Oh, there is nothing better than barbecued, brined, quality turkey. It's just sensational.
And you're the person who does that at the house?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely the chef of the house. Yeah, I think I've almost become more interested in cooking in the last 2 years than in winemaking.
Michael Keenan, president of Robert Keenan Winery, thank you so much for joining us today on Wine and Dine.
My pleasure, Lynn.
We will have links up for you to learn more. And, of course, you can reserve your ticket at the San Diego WineClassic.com to attend this wine class in Merlot. Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes Radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.